Well, hello. Let me make sure my microphone is on. Oh, yes, it is on. Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing today? How's everybody doing? And look, happy Saturday. I hope everybody has enjoyed themselves today and still enjoying yourself with your family and all. And if you're watching, you see that little red light blinking? That means you watching Miss J live, right? But now if you come back and that little red light is not up there, don't even worry about it, because it means you watching a replay. And I really appreciate that, all right? All right. So, y'all know Miss J not going to try to hold you long. All right. So, um, the flyer, my subject tonight and topic tonight is, hey, Priscilla, thank you for coming in here, sweetheart. Um, is kids and children mental health. It matters with them also. It does. Um, and when I was doing my research on this, I was alarmed at a lot of the statistics that I ran into about how a lot of kids are not getting treatment. A lot of parents are not having their kids checked out. But we have to ask ourselves, my viewers, is adults have mental issues, right, and mental disorders. But see, let me explain something real quick about that. That actually starts in childhood. Now, if you have an adult that is going through some challenges during their childhood and they don't never get it worked out, they're going to bring that up into their adulthood, right? So, switch this thing vice versa. Now, kids, we let me ask this question. I'm gonna throw this question out here. And be honest. You ain't gotta be honest with me, be honest with yourself. Since the pandemic, how many have actually sat and asked their child or children, whether they was 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, just sat and got on their level of asking this question? Um, just ask them, when the pandemic first started, just ask them, how are you feeling? Are you scared? And have you asked them to tell you the truth of how they are feeling? What kind of feelings are they having? I mean, honestly, how many have done that? Now, see, y'all know me. I can speak for myself. And if my grandbaby come in here, she would tell you. If she coming in on this live tonight, be watching. She would tell you. When that pandemic hit, I set my grandchildren down and I asked them a lot of questions. Then when they start going back to school, oh yes, I wanted to know, what are you afraid of? But if you don't ask those questions, you're not going to know. You're not going to know what your child is going through. You're not going to know, are they depressed or not, if you don't ask that tough questions. Now, a lot of us don't like to ask that question because we don't want to know the answer, because we don't want to think nothing is wrong with our child. But kids' mental health matters, y'all. Do y'all understand that kids are killing themselves? Children are being so. Not only is the pandemic is stress enough for us adults and the children too. What about the academics? What about being in school? Now here it is, the pandemic going on. Okay, let's take this down. Now, I'm going to take this thing a whole nother step further. Here we go. We got the pandemic going on. All right? Got the pandemic going on. Now we got academics. No, the pandemic going on. They in the what's that? They was on Zoom. The in-home learning. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. In-house learning. They're trying to deal with that. Let's take this thing another step further. Let's say if they in a home or they're in a situation that is not good for them either. That it's a lot of fussing carrying on. It's a lot of partying going on. When it's 9 or 10 o'clock at night, they're trying to go to sleep. Oh, mom and dad are just having a good time party. See, all those are stressors for kids, regardless what age they are. Regardless. I took that another step further because kids go through it also just like we do. But you got to ask them. You have to ask them. I thank again, Priscilla. Thank you for coming in here. Tap that screen, send me some hearts and stuff up there, girl. I appreciate you being in here. And let me say this: if anybody want to come up and have this conversation with me, let me know, and I'll send you the link. You come on up and just have a conversation with me. It's fine. Um, but just I want to know, and just say to yourself: have you sat down and since the pandemic and everything else that's going on in the world, bullying and everything else that's going on in the world? Have you sat down and asked your child or children how you feeling? What's going on? Tell me the truth. Let them know it's okay for them to be honest to you. And if it's a little king, see a lot of times fathers tell sons, boy, you don't be walking here and be scared. You a boy. But it's nothing wrong with being afraid. If your child is afraid, whether it's a boy, even if it's a boy, they are scared. They scared. Ask, if y'all haven't done it, ask your children. Just take the time and just sit down one day to yourself and just ask. Since the pandemic been going on, everything, y'all back in school. I think some schools is wearing masks and some schools are not wearing masks. Ask them how they feel about that. Ask them how they feel about that and tell them to tell you the truth. Trust me, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. So now let's look at let's look at the causes. Let's look at what does mental health actually look like for kids. Okay, what does it look like? It's reaching developmental and emotional milestones and learning healthy social skills and how to cope with them when there are problems. Mentally healthy children have a positive quality of, now this is the mentally healthy children, have a positive quality of life, and they can function well at home and school and in around their communities with their friends. They can function real good. That these are the mentally healthy, the healthy kids that don't have any issues. Okay, this is the mentally healthy ones. All right, now let's take this thing further. What is mental health in kids? This is what happens. It's delays or destruction. Now y'all might recognize some of this. It's delays and disruptions, in developing age appropriate thinking, behaviors, social skills, and trying to regulate their emotions. See, it's delays in trying to do that and disruptions trying to do that. Well, I'm gonna say that again. Delays or disruptions in developing age appropriate thinking, behaviors, social skills, or regulations of emotions. Y'all get that? These problems are distressing the children to disrupt their ability to function well at home, in school, and in their surroundings. See, if they can't have thinking, they got to get control of their thinking behaviors, right? And if they can't tap into that emotion, what kind of emotions going on? Can't you imagine? All right, just think being an adult, and you already know what's wrong with you. You already been diagnosed and everything. You already know these kind of feelings come over you. That panicky feeling come over you. But so you know what's wrong with you. But just think being a child, and they sort of scared to tell you, but they recognizing this something's going on with me. They're saying to themselves, they're not coming to you because they still probably sort of scared to mention it to mom and dad. But they are noticing why I feel like sometimes I start getting upset, feel like my heart beating real fast. But they don't know. They noticing something is wrong. They know, but they don't know that's the start of a panic attack. They don't know. They don't know. But as an adult now, see, we know once we get diagnosed, right? Just think being a kid now, going through that. Just think now, being a kid going through that, going through now, not being able to regulate their emotions. Just think now. Wow. And doing my research, I have actually found out that the mental health, children mental health, it is in a crisis right now in the United States. It is, and the pandemic made it worse. The pandemic made it worse for children with mental health and mental illness. Made it worse. So since COVID-19 pandemic, mental illness and the demand for psychological services are at the all-time high limits. Can't you imagine? Like I said now, just think as an adult what the pandemic did to some of us. Being out of work, lost a job. Just think about that stress of that pandemic, what it did to us as an adult, okay? For kids, from March 2021, from March 2020 to October 2021, mental health regulated emergencies department visits increased it to 29% for children ages 5 to 11. Wow. And 35% for children of ages 12 to 17. That's been since COVID. It has increased it. That's my word I made up. Increased it. It has increased it. Yes. Isn't that something? Again, I'm going to keep going right back there. Think about what COVID has done to us as an adult. How it has stressed us out. Think about what it's doing to the children. Okay? Their mental health matters too. Now, when it comes to that, you also got to look at what is the school system doing. Because now, believe it or not, the school has to play a role in this also. So we're going to bring the mental health into the classroom. So in March of 2021, did y'all know that the American Rescue Plan Act was passed? And that included $170 billion of school funding. $170 billion. This was in 2021 of March. Well, the American Rescue Plan Act. It was passed. That included $170 billion for school funding. And for schools to use this funding to hire mental health workers. Also included what they put in new now is psychologists and psychiatrists. That was the two things that was added new into this plan. This was just passed in March of 2021. So the schools mandated. They're funded. In their schools, they're supposed to have. I'm not talking about the guidance counselor. No, I'm not talking about him or her. I'm talking about a psychologist or psychiatrist and mental health workers. That's what else $170 billion funding is for, the schools. Did y'all know that? I didn't till I did my research. I was like, wow, okay. But the two things that they implemented new was having psychologists and psychiatrists. Wow. So the school plays a part in this too. So just in other words, if you got a child and you already know things has been going on with them, you have a right to go to that school and say, well, what about this American Rescue Plan Act that was just passed? What about the money for that to help me help my child get assistance? Yeah. What about having a psychologist in here to talk with my child why I am in here with him or her? They got the money. and that was passed in 2021. Again, the American Rescue Plan Act. Okay, 170 billion. Wow. So let's take a look at the warning signs. What are the warning signs that you can sort of take notice in your child or children? Now, if you're noticing that they are just being sad all the time, they're just being sad, persistently just being sad all the time, and it's lasting for over more than 2 weeks. Okay, it's all right to be sad, but now if this is lasting over 2 weeks or more, think about it. Persistently being sad, and it lasts over 2 weeks or more. Okay. Now all of a sudden you seeing them withdrawing, and then they're trying to avoid, being around people, social interactions, staying locked up in the room all the time. When at one point, 6 months ago or something like that, oh, they irritated around, they were gone. But now all of a sudden they're withdrawing. Okay? Now this is a biggie. And this is where you have to pay attention to your child or children, especially if they're at the age where, because believe it or not, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 year, they get depressed, y'all. They do. They do. But now if you got a child, this is where you got to be very, very vigilant on this part here. If they start hurting themselves or talking about hurting themselves, you might overhear them saying that to somebody out that sit on the front porch, and you might hear your child say, "Yeah, I've been thinking about trying to hang myself." See, if you hear that come out of your child's mouth, we need to see what's going on. Stop what I don't care if you're there braiding somebody's hair. You stop what you're doing and go out there and see why your child. Pull your child to the side and take him in a room and see, wait a minute, baby, why I just heard you say something? Why you? Yeah, these are symptoms. Okay, these are signs, warning signs. Then if you got a child, seem like every time they keep turning around, let me slow down. If you got a child and every time they turn around, they keep talking about death or suicide. Death or suicide. These are warning signs. Don't think because they're 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They got minds too. But if they keep talking about death or suicide, pay attention. And then if they're walking around just irritability, all that, just irritable. And then just having bad outbursts. Now, at one point, they was not doing that. Your child never was doing this. But all of a sudden, you noticing these things. You done seen in his or her text where they sending somebody talking about they're thinking about taking a razor blade and cutting their wrist. You done seen that in the text. You know how children talk to one another. They do. They'll go talk to their friend across the street. Hey, Simply. Hey, Jewel. Thank you for coming in here. It's okay, baby. And as I stated, Jewel, if anybody want to come up here and have this conversation with me, we can do that, Jewel. So if you feel you want to come up, you let me know, and I'll now this is my new platform. Now y'all know I'm using it, right? I'll send you the link to come up, okay? But if you got a child and they never talked about suicide, cause if I'm not mistaken, y'all correct me now. Can't you have it where you can track your child or children text messages or something like that, and they don't know it? I'm just asking. Because if you can, and let's say that happens, let's say somebody's doing it, and you seeing these kind of funky text messages being sent over there to their friend, talking about harming themselves, or telling their friend, why they be having these kind of dreams or killing themselves, you got to get involved. You got to get involved. You got to get involved. And then, like I said, they never been the type that been all mad and irritable all the time. Just want you get out of my room. They ain't never talk to you that way, having outbursts. Pay attention. Pay attention. Okay, Jewel, you let me know. You say the word, you let me know, okay? And then if you got they have an out of control behavior that can be harmful. So y'all know what that means? That out of control behavior that can be harmful. You got the one that they doing some stuff that can hurt. They out there doing some stuff that can hurt themselves doing it. What you call the mischief behavior that can really hurt them. They can hurt themselves doing it. And you notice they never did that. Pay attention to your children. Priscilla Wilson says, now like I said, now this is my new software I'm using, so and I called myself tweaked my camera. All right, so let's see what Priscilla said. Priscilla said, I know you can track their whereabouts. Right, exactly. Yes, you can track. See, that's what sometimes we just have to do that. Sometimes we just have to do that. Track their whereabouts. But the example that I gave, excuse me, that example that I gave, your child out there on the stoop with their friend, and then friend, you hear that friend keep saying, well, what's wrong? I noticed in school last week or the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks at school, you sit by yourself at lunch. You used to sit with me, but you sit over there by yourself. You don't want nobody to sit with you. And you always got your head down at lunch. You don't want to eat. And then the other day you was telling me that you feel like killing yourself. And if you hear a conversation like that going on your front porch, that his little friend or her little friend talking like that to her, trying to ask your child what's wrong, you need to go out there and see. Like I said, go out there and see what's going on. Go out there and see what's going on. And sometimes your children friends may come and tell you, or may come and ask you, Miss Johnson, what's wrong with Johnny? Now, what you mean? Because for the past 2 or 3 weeks, Miss Johnson, he been sitting at the table by himself and fussing at the teacher. Has she called you and told you, something like that? You'll be surprised how children some of them will come and mention to you. Some of them will come and do it. But children are afraid just like adults are. They are. Now, be very honest. Like I said, the pandemic, that scared me. And I'm still scared of it. I'm still scared of it. I am so afraid. And I'm unvaccinated. No, I'm not. Not planning on getting it neither. No, I'm not. But it scares me out of my wits if I catch it. That's why I'm being so careful. I'm being so I'm like I said, I know I'm real afraid of it. Just imagine how that child feeling. I'm afraid of it. I'm so scared to catch it. Just imagine how that child is feeling. So let's look at the 7 most common mental disorders in children. That some of these I know. So I know people personally, children that personally have a couple of these. The very first one is, we already know that ADHD, attention deficit hyper. Jewel, help me out. Hyperactivity disorder. I think that's what that hyperactivity is. ADHD. That's the acronym ADHD. That was the first one on the list. And number 2, anxiety problems, behavior problems. Now, if you, like I said, you got this child that been making A's and B's for the past 3, 4, 5 years, and all of a sudden, stuff just start messing all up. Oppositional defiant disorder. Did y'all know about that one? Do y'all know that's when a child don't like authority from their parent, don't like having authority from their parent. That's why they're gonna defy you. Mm-hmm. Oppositional defiant disorder. Yes. That's why you trying to figure out why I keep telling you, why this boy keep or this girl keep doing this, so on, so on, so on. And I keep telling them, don't do this. They're defying you. And if you've been doing that for so long, see what's going on. Oppositional defiant disorder. They gonna defy everything you say. They going against what the parent says. I know somebody personally that's dealing with that. Of course, and then you got the obsessive compulsive disorder. And this main one right here to me, post traumatic distress. We don't know what a child is going through at school. We don't know what a child, if you're a teacher and you just teaching that class, you don't know what that child is going through at home. You don't know what that child may be going through at lunch, or you don't know what that child's going through on the school bus every day for the past 2 years because they haven't said anything. Post-traumatic distress. That thing called trauma. That thing called trauma. It'll get you every time. It'll get you every time. You want okay, you want me to add me see, can you add the link on here? Okay. Okay, Jewel. Let me see. Hold on now. I told y'all, let me see, invite guests. This is my new software. Hold on. Let me see something. Invite guests. Okay, there we go. Copy. All right, I copied it. Okay, I just added it. It's coming. Y'all, you see it? I just put it in there. I just put it in there. Okay. Okay. That's if anybody else want to come up and we have this conversation. Um, but that post traumatic distress disorder, you don't like I said, that thing called childhood trauma. You don't know what's going on with a child. We don't know unless they tell you, unless you talk with your child. You don't know if your child, every time your child get on the school bus, somebody he's sitting right there, and somebody for the past year just been popping him upside the head. Kids get traumatized. You may think that's something small and simple, but you'll be surprised how that scares a child every time they get on the school bus, because they know what's going to happen. These are disorders. So now let's take a look at what do you think that could be causing that? Could be causing mental issues in children. What do you think could cause it? Actually, it's not the actual cause. Most of it is not known, but the research suggests that a combination of factors, including hereditary. Now, if you got a family member, a lot of us don't like to hear that word hereditary or genetic. But let's just keep it 100. If you got a family member, if your grandmama, whatever, all down the line that was schizophrenics back in 1905 and all that, see, that's hereditary. I'm just keeping it 100. That's hereditary and genetic. And a lot of us don't like to hear that word. That scares us, that word hereditary. But hereditary, biology, here we go, psychological trauma. And then the environment that you'll be surprised the environment can mess up a child. You'll be surprised how the environment that you are in can mess up a child. The environmental stresses can mess up a child also. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. Your environment. Your environment. And how you'll know, because I know somebody personally that their children was, they was going through it. They was going through it. Going through it for several years. Several years. All of a sudden, they uprooted and moved. Oh my gosh. That was the best thing that that family could have ever done. Because those kids has flourished. Your environment. Your environment. That was the best move that family could have ever done. Because if not, ain't no telling what would have happened. That was the best move. So actually, it's really not known what caused. And like I said, a lot of them could be, I just read it, I told you, hereditary, biological, and psychological trauma, and then your environment, the environment that they're in. There we go, Priscilla. That's right. That's right, Priscilla. That's right, Priscilla. And sexual abuse. Exactly. That's trauma. That's trauma. Kids' mental health matters. Let me tell y'all what I was trying to find it to show because it ties in with what I'm talking about. And I might do it. I still might show it when I do my what's on your mind is venting time. But it happened right here in North Carolina about 2 weeks ago, and this is real talk. Um, this lady's child, and I could not believe this. I'm sitting here looking at it on the news for weeks. For weeks, her child was being sexually molested on the school bus. All right, follow. I'm gonna get ready to tell you. The bus driver, the bus driver said, "Okay, they got the mirrors up there, right? They would be in the back." He said when he would see them back there, he would be thinking, you know how boys be like punching one another, playing. He didn't know, he didn't have an idea that this particular child was molesting this woman's child. And this went on for a couple of weeks. So what they did, they rolled they found some videos. That's how they discovered what was actually going on, y'all. Did y'all hear what I just said? Did y'all hear what I just said? Now that's trauma for that child right there. And this was in what's second grade, third grade, whatever. That's not middle school. Whatever, second grade, third grade. Yes, 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 y'all. Yes, yes. The bus driver thought they were just playing, but how it came out was the child, I guess, just got tired of it happening and was ready to tell them and ready to talk about it. Um, the mother went to wake him up to go to school, and he said, I don't want to go to that school ever no more, mama. And what are you talking about? Because he was the type of child loved to go to school. See how he changed, attitude changed. And she said she kept, coaching him. Well, come on, what are you talking about? You love school. You love school. I don't. He kept saying, I don't ever want to go to that school. He burst out, started crying, and said, "Mama, something been happening to me." And she said, "What are you talking about?" That's when he told her, and that woman went up to that school. But the bus driver said He thought they was playing back there, like boys do. But when they looked at the couple of tapes and looked at the tapes, that's when they saw what that child was being, what they saw what was going on. They saw it. Now, how about y'all? I'm gonna take it even a step further because she did a press conference. How about the school is not even going to try to help her get help for her child? Isn't that retarded? Oh my Jesus. Oh my Jesus. Elementary school. Okay, there we go. Elementary school, Priscilla. Thank you. Wow, that's sad. Exactly, Lanisha. Exactly. And thank you. Hey, Lanisha, thank you for coming in here. Yes. And it was a queen. It was a queen. And she broke up in that school. She admitted she broke up in there ready. They had to call the police on her and everything. She admitted all of that. But just think, your child disclosing something like that to you. Now, y'all, I'm gonna ask y'all this and what y'all think. Do y'all think that do y'all think the bus driver should be at fault in some kind of way? Y'all put in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. Be honest. What y'all think? What y'all think? Do the bus driver need to be some way accountable? Now I'm gonna tell you what I think. I think he should. Let me excuse me. Let me tell you why, real quick. Because as a bus driver, and you see them back there, what you call it, horse playing, whatever. You supposed to stop that bus and get up and go back there and say, look, y'all need to stop this back here. Now, especially you keep hollering, look, y'all need to stop that back there. Y'all sit down back there. Okay, now they keep right on. They keep right on a couple times before you get where you got to go. You supposed to pull that bus over and go back there and handle it. Priscilla said, my grandson had a friend. Y'all see what I'm talking about? Priscilla said, my grandson had a friend that committed suicide at age 16. This kid was excellent in school, a good athlete until the day no one knows. See? Nobody know why. But something was going on with him though, Priscilla. Something was going on with that baby. And maybe he felt shamed to tell it. Maybe he didn't know how to tell whatever was going on. But something was going on with him. And it may have been a mental situation going on that he never got diagnosed with. But as you say, as of the day, you don't know. And it go right back to my man Twitch. Bless his. I know he's not a child, but still go right back to him. You never know. You just never know. And Lanisha says, school system often fail our kids. Exactly, Lanisha. Exactly. Exactly. You're right. And you think yes, he should be. Yeah, he should. I think that he should be held accountable for something. I just do. I just do. So let's look at now. I told you the warning signs. And Priscilla, you said yes, I agree, and that's why you should talk to your children. Exactly, Priscilla. Exactly. Exactly, Priscilla. That's why you should talk. That's why you should talk to your children. Exactly. Exactly. Now I gave y'all warning signs, right? What about the symptoms? What about symptoms? Because everything that goes on in our bodies and our minds, whatever, is symptoms somewhere, right? Let's take a look at a couple of them. Symptoms, but see the thing with that, with symptoms in children, it can change over time, over the period of time. Okay? And especially, as the child grows and get older, it changes. So here's three symptoms here. difficulties with how a child plays and learns, speaks, and acts, or how the child handles their emotions. Symptoms often start in early childhood, although some disorders may develop during the teenage years. The diagnosis is often made in the school years and sometimes earlier. Now, the only way that a diagnosis is going to be done is what, y'all? Get them checked out. Take your child to see what's going on. Like I said, if you got a child a social butterfly, and all of a sudden they all in the room, come from school, go straight to the room, barely want to eat anything, but that's all they do in their room. They ain't got to be playing the game, but they laying down in the bed, don't want to get up on the bed. Pay attention to your child. Pay attention to your child. Lanisha said, night eating, bed wedding, and mood changes. Exactly. There you go, Lanisha. Exactly. Exactly. Some children with mental disorders may not be recognized or diagnosed as having anything wrong. But that's where me personally, now if you seeing all this stuff going on, you see the cuts on your child arms, they're gonna see one person gonna try to tell you nothing is wrong, or you go somewhere else. Because if you can get your child diagnosed and stabilized, that's the goal right there. That's the goal. So who is affected by all of this? Who's affected by all of this? Everybody. That's within the family. That's within the family. So what is the impact of mental disorders in children? That's we already know it's a chronic health condition and health problem. It is in the US. It is. And it has been on the rise since the pandemic. Feet falling asleep, y'all. Feet falling asleep. Look, I think I got them hanging. I'm sitting up in this high chair. I got my feet hanging. I think I'm gonna get me a stool and put there. Um, so mental disorders are chronic health conditions and conditions, and it lasts a long time. Often do not go away completely. It's not gonna go away completely. That it can continue through the whole child lifespan. Without early diagnosis and treatment, children with mental disorders can have problems at home. Children with children with mental disorders can have problems at home, in school, and trying to have friendships. Mm, wow. And it can also interfere with a child's healthy development, causing problems that can continue all the way through adulthood. Remember I told y'all how when you're a child, if you're going through something, you don't never get it taken care of, that stuff going to follow you right on through your adulthood. Let me see. Sorry, Miss J. I tried to say a phone was in the green room, but no camera and couldn't send comment. Oh no, I said I was waiting for you to pop down here. I don't know, baby. I didn't see you sitting down here at all. It works just like the other software. So if you was in here, yeah, I would see you come down right here. But I didn't see you yet. Oh, you don't have no camera. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. Okay. All right. So yes, you don't. This stuff can go into adulthood. It can, and it does. It does. If you don't handle it, it does. But take time to ask your children what is wrong. Now, this is what I found that was interesting. Can we as mothers can we as a mother, can our mental state impact our child development? Can we as mothers, can we as mothers, can our, what's going on with us, impact our child development? Yes, it can. In the childhood period, it's called maternal mental health. In the childhood period affects child emotional functioning. And there have been previous studies observed that maternal anxiety and depression in early childhood are associated with child emotional and behavior problems. So, we as a parent, if we got some mental things going on with us, that is affecting our child. That has a way of affecting our child development. Thank you. Okay, and here's another nurse up here. It says wrong URL. I copied and pasted. There it is right there. I copied it and pasted. But if we got some mental stuff going on with us, y'all, I want y'all to listen. If we got some mental stuff going on with us as parents, yes, it can affect your child development. Because keep in mind, children are seeing things. Children can feel things. Don't you know your child know? Don't you realize your child is seeing you laying in that bed 2 weeks at a time? You don't even want to get up and fix them nothing to eat. Don't you know they seeing this and like what's going on with my mama? What's going on with my daddy? They noticing this. Yes, it can affect your child development. Yes, it can. It's called maternal mental health. So how do emotionally unstable, if you have a emotional unstable parent, how can that affect your child? And does it affect your child too? Mental health. Did you know being raised by an emotionally unavailable parent or guardian can lead to a life of unstable friendships, strings of fair relationships, emotional neediness, and the inability to self-regulate and provide for yourself, and identity confusion. Did y'all hear what I just said? So if you got a parent, if there's a parent that that is emotionally unavailable for your child, and y'all know what I mean by that, because some people have said that they can't bond with their child. You're not emotionally available for your child. That can cause mental problems. It can cause them to have emotional neediness. That's why sometimes our kids, they get out here and be messing with the wrong people, because it was something that was lacking. It was something that was lacking in the childhood. Kids' mental health matters. Now, is it help? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is help. It's help. And it's the national hotline. The national, the Hope for NC helpline. National helpline. And this is what I meant to do. I am sorry, y'all. But I'm going to do it right now, real quick. 855. I meant to do this before I came on. I'm sorry, y'all. 587 63. All right. This is the hotline. There we go. There it is. That is the hotline right there that you can call 24/7 with emotional support and mental health resources to help you out right there. And every state has them, even though it's a national one, but every state have their local ones also. So it's no excuse where if as a parent you see your child is needing help. It's no excuse. And again, kids' mental health matters. And I'm gonna ask this question again. If you haven't, have you asked your child how they're feeling? If you haven't, take the time to do that. Take the time to ask your child how they're feeling. Have a conversation with them. And if you notice some things about your child that's not haven't been no, wait a minute now, this been going. I'm noticing they don't want to go nowhere. They take notice of that. Again, it's nothing wrong with having to take your child to go see a psychologist or psychiatrist. It's not. Wouldn't you rather do that than to find them hanging in a closet, like this woman did her daughter? Again, children's mental health matters. That young lady was being bullied. Wouldn't you rather do that? Yeah, I'm getting ready to close it out. Told y'all I wasn't gonna hold y'all long. Told y'all I was not gonna hold y'all long. Come on now, get back right, get back right. Bring it back in focus. I don't know what just happened, y'all. It's coming back for some reason. I hit something. Me messing with stuff. It's coming back. It's coming back. Hold on. I made a mistake and hit something, y'all. There we go. Me messing with stuff. I'm sorry. Me messing with stuff. Um, but yeah, talk to your kids. Talk to your kids. Regardless how young they are. Sit them down and ask them questions. Ask them about this stuff with the pandemic. Are they afraid of COVID? Ask them. Talk to them. Okay? Now, with that being said, I am getting ready to get up out of here. I thank y'all for coming in here. Thank y'all for watching live with me, sticking in here with me. And those that's going to be watching the replay, Miss J, thank you too. Y'all share this out because somebody need to see it. Somebody need to see it. All right? Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.